Previously on They Shoot Films.
Let's talk about another cat that seems to have an important place in to the Coen Brothers, another famous cat. Can you name the cat, FT?
No.
Sorry, I'll give you a hint. A cat that is mentioned and has a role in another Coen Brothers film, A Serious Man.
I don't remember. Help me out here. I just saw that too. You mean
really?
You mean a feline?
Yes, a very famous cat who is mentioned, talked about, plays a significant part in...
Oh.
You're listening to They Shoot Films with Ken Mercer and FT Kosempa.
I don't remember. Help me out here. I just saw that too. You mean
really?
You mean a feline?
Yes, a very famous cat who is mentioned, talked about, plays a significant part in...
Oh, you mean a theoretical cat?
Well...
Yes, yeah. Schrodinger's.
Yes, Schrodinger's cat, which plays a big part in A Serious Man.
Yes.
You know, again, we got some positive feedback in the quantitative research on our origins, but also on we did a thought experiment in the pledge, and audience has been begging for another thought experiment. So, for those unfamiliar with Schrodinger's cat, it sounds like you are FT.
I'm not. I never understood it.
Okay, well here I'm going to do it to you, and you can answer. Can we have a little drum roll, please?
You mean real or imagined?
Real.
Okay.
You have a cat, and I'm sorry, I know you're a literal person. I know you don't have a cat. You have a dog, Mr. Sweetie. But assume you have a cat. You put the cat. Sorry, you're going to just. You don't. Again, with the trolley experiment took forever because you push back. How are they tied up? How are they stuck? Yeah, so you just have to go with it.
Better answers to that.
Yeah, okay. Well, too late. Okay, you have a cat. This is Schrodinger's cat. Maybe one of the most famous.
Wait, is it my cat or Schrodinger's cat?
No, you can't do
I'm
this.
just kidding.
Yeah, you can.
Go ahead. Anyhow, wait, I can do it. I just did, but so there is a cat.
Sorry. Here's Schrodinger's cat as presented by They Shoot Films. Here we go. You, FT, have a cat. You put it in a sealed steel box with one other thing, a small amount of radioactive material and a detector. If the detector registers radioactive decay, which may or may not happen in the next hour, 50-50 odds of radioactive decay, it triggers. So if there is radioactive decay, the detector triggers a mechanism that releases a poison gas, and the cat dies. If no decay is detected, the cat lives. You seal the box. 1 hour passes before you open it. Question: is the cat alive or dead?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
What do you mean? What do I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
No, I'm not going to play. I mean, I don't know.
You don't know.
No.
Well, that is just like the trolley problem. You gave the intuitive answer, but in quantum mechanics, the answer is according to quantum theory. Sorry, you should do that because I know you.
I don't know anything about this.
I thought your degree was in quantum theory.
It's yours, apparently.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
According to quantum theory.
Yeah.
Oh, I like the way you said that, kind of disparaging. Why would me having a degree? Why would
you
me having a degree?
You list a seminar, so I figured you popped over to the next house to get more cookies. The quantum mechanics seminar. You went down the old faculty row, going like, ancient art. Yeah.
No, I would not. Good one, but I would not have dared go into quantum theory with my lack of
mathematics. It's all math, buddy. It's all math. This is a metaphor.
So, according to quantum theory, until the box is opened and the system is observed, the cat is not in one state or the other. It is both simultaneously. It is neither alive nor dead. It exists in a superposition of both states. The act of observation doesn't reveal the outcome. It creates it, which, of course, paved the way, I think, for Heisenberg's uncertainty theory, right, which came next. But anyway, back to Llewyn Davis and the cat as doppelganger.
Yeah.
You could make the case. I will make the case.
You're gonna.
This film. One reading of this film. And again, it plays into the Odyssey and Dante's reading of the Odyssey, where Ulysses is to the underworld by the journey there. You could make the case that Llewyn is, in two senses of the phrase, neither living nor dead. You could really stretch it and say at the beginning of the film, he died. So, in movies when there's fights, everybody think, you watch movies and think, oh yeah, you punch somebody in the face. Well, a couple of things happen in real life if you punch somebody in the face. One, you probably will break your hand if you're the puncher.
Yes,
and the punchee can die, especially punched in the
face.
Nose.
Yes,
in the nose,
that's
because the nasal bone.
That's right.
It's not the correct term. Can be driven into the brain. It's not fun and games, folks. By the way, since the Coen Brothers do their own editing as Roderick James, how about that Foley work in the alley fight, FT?
How about it?
Yeah, it's pretty over. It's pretty over the top.
Brutal. Yeah.
You a funny boy, huh?
What?
Hat up in your big mouth, huh, funny boy?
What? That's what I do for a living. Who are you?
What you do?
I'm sorry. What?
You sit there in the audience last night yelling your crap?
Oh, for Christ's sake, you yell stuff, man. It's a show.
It wasn't your show.
It's not the opera, jackass. It's a fucking basket.
We're leaving this fucking cesspool. You can have it.
But it's great. It's over the top, but
It works.
I think it's
the
great.
kick in the gut. And all that.
What do you think they used to create the punching sounds? What do you think it was?
Someone punching.
Yeah, I think it was more like a sack of concrete dropped onto.
Is that
wood.
what they said, or a 2x4?
No, I'm just getting. Yeah,
I was thinking
that's the thing in Foley work. It's never the literal thing in Foley work.
I would say a 2x4 against a punching bag, or
All right,
that's what it sounded like.
Yeah, baseball bat. Yeah.
Yeah, bat. Right.
Yeah. So anyway, you could view it that Llewyn, like Schrodinger's cat, is neither alive nor dead.
Okay.
Question for you, FT.
Yes.
Do you think Llewyn makes good choices?
Oh, tons of them. All along the line, Ken.
Which is significant because if we read Blake Snyder's book, which I haven't read, but I'm sure it's in any screenwriting book which you can pick up at your local bookseller, dramatic writing is about the dilemmas that the protagonists face, how the choices the protagonist makes defines their character. So shall we maybe go through some of Llewyn's choices and decide and comment upon them, FD?
Yes, I have a whole list myself. Yes, sir.
As the host of the show, are you comfortable going with my list?
I might sneak one in.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I don't think just so you know, you may have to, but I've got a pretty comprehensive list here.
Oh, yeah? We'll see. Now, we'll have the audience judge whose list is more comprehensive. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, you go first with your list then.
No, you go ahead. You go first. Show me yours.
Okay. So let's start. Let's go in order of the movie. The first choice I'd like to ask you about is Llewyn gets Jean pregnant, as Jean tells him.
Ding.
And sorry, it was on your list.
Yeah, first one.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, so again, relax, FT. We are one, just like the Coen Brothers. We are a double-headed beast here. So my list is your list. Mi casa is su casa.
Your solipsism, my solipsism. Yes.
So he says he will pay for Jean's abortion. He clarifies that later that it will be with a doctor. Even.
Right. No, that's a big deal, by the way.
Yes. And
illegal abortions. Yes.
Yeah. So he has to get the funds for the abortion.
Right.
He makes the choice to go to Jean's husband Jim and ask to borrow the money for the abortion.
What do you think?
What?
Him. Troy.
Wonderful performer.
Is he?
Wonderful.
Does he have higher function?
I need a drink. Look, Jim, I don't want to mention this in front of Jean. You know how she gets.
What do you mean?
Just, I need to borrow some money. I can pay you back really soon. That won't last long. There's a girl I know who's in trouble and needs to get fixed.
Not again.
This is a different girl. Don't tell Jean.
I can't get the money without Jean knowing. It's okay.
No, it's okay. I'll find someone.
What do you think of that? It was on your list, FT, so you can comment
amazing.
on it. Okay, go ahead.
Well, you know what? At first, I said this is like one of his choices that was completely outrageous. For him to ask, But then I remembered when he says, "Are you sure it's mine?"
Right.
And Jean goes, "No, I'm not."
Right.
That it could have been Jim's. And that's and that was part of Jean's pain about this,
Right, sure.
Is that, so a part of me goes like, well, Llewyn was being, kind of funny in a way about saying like, hey, asking Jim, because it could have been Jim's.
But there's still.
It's not kosher, as they would say.
No, but it's still not a great choice because the tragedy there is Jim and Jean makes clear they want to have a child.
No,
so
I know.
If it is Jim's, he would not be happy about paying for an abortion for it.
Right,
for the
but
child.
There's a near Schrodinger's issue.
Schrodinger's baby.
Baby. Yeah. And by the way, it could also have been Poppy's. Jean did play around. As we found out.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of the timing.
No, it's later when that happens. But Jean played around. If she, if she and Llewyn fucked, I wouldn't be surprised. Whatever. Anyhow, free love, man, free love.
Right. Yeah. Again, FT dutifully read the Dave Van Ronk book, "The Mayor of McDougal Street," and he says something like, he says something like there was a pregnancy scare every week.
Every week, at least. Yeah. All the time. Yep.
Yeah, before we, my reaction to that was, and sorry, let me get through. You don't jump in, don't shout me down as you would like to do. It actually reminded me of what I most admire about you, FT.
Me too. No, anyhow, what is that, Ken?
Your honesty.
Yes.
You're incredible, in this world of lying and lying.
I attempt.
No, you're a very honest person. And that's what I admire about you. So it reminded me of, and I don't know if you remember this, long ago, you came to me and asked me to borrow some money. And I said, what's it for? And you said, it's for an abortion. And I didn't say, who's the lucky lady? Because I said, well, who's it for? And you just said, it's for your wife, Ken. I slept with her. And I was taken aback, but I just said, well, how much do you need? And the reason I said I said that was I wanted to reward your honesty.
What the fuck are you talking about? Wow, thank you. Right, I do remember that in that, my time machine. I'm going to get it out of the garage and go back and revisit.
Well, I know you don't have the greatest memory.
You're crazy, man. You're crazy.
I know you don't have the greatest.
No, I got
memory.
scared where you were going. Like I came to you and I'm like, no, I didn't, because there was a situation, But
why don't you? I get the feeling you'd like to move on.
Yeah, maybe, yes. Next choice.
Yes. Next choice. Again,
please, Mr. Ken.
Yes. Please, Mr. Kennedy. That's the next one. Yes.
I know. Same here.
Okay.
Yes.
By the way, maybe Anne-Marie could punch in. Please, Mr. Kennedy was again was a redone version of a song, which I think is called Please, Mr. Kennedy, which they adapted. If Anne-Marie will please put it into the podcast.
Which is an adaptation of Please, Mr. Custer.
Yeah, exactly.
That was the one I heard.
Yeah. Oh, really? You heard that one?
Yeah.
I heard it on YouTube.
That was on the radio when I was a kid.
Yeah. No,
I don't want to die. That whole business. Yeah.
So hopefully Anne-Marie can punch in the original Please, Mr. Kennedy.
Please, Mr. Kennedy, I don't want to go. Bang, bang. Please, Mr. Kennedy, I don't want to go. don't want to play no Russian roulette. I don't want to go, I'm too young to die yet. Well, I ain't gonna smoke that last cigarette. Oh, please, Mr. Kennedy. Oh, well, I don't want to go. Whoa, 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 bang, bang. Please, Mr. Kennedy. I don't want to go. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Oh, well, the shelter is ready. My bag I'm gonna pack in case old Khrushchev decides to attack. There's a good chance for that if you send Lyndon Johnson back. Whoa, please, Mr. Kennedy.
So anyway, the choice here is Llewyn gets called into a session at Columbia Records to work on an original song. Again, he seems not to be too keen on originals, as we kind of
wrote
covered
this
in my thesis of the theme. He records the song, and then when it comes time to sign the American Federation of Musicians sheet for the session, of which he would be accorded royalties, he instead chooses to give up royalties in exchange for $200. Good choice or bad choice, FT?
No royalties, a big hit, bad choice. Was it only 200 or 500?
It was only 200. It was only 200.
Wow, for the day, but he was desperate. You know, he needed money. Yeah,
I can defend this choice.
Okay.
He again, as we go through these choices, we will, and again, if choices define character, some of Llewyn's choices are actually define him as a nobleman, as trying to do the right thing.
Huh.
Why is he doing the session? To get the $200 for Jean's abortion, which he's promised
Towards
her.
it, yeah.
Jim has turned her down. So
him down.
Turned him down. So again, that's what he asked when he's signing. Well, can I get a check today? No, if you want a check today, here's what we can do. He's got to get the money for the abortion for Jean. So he's kind of knowingly acting against his own self-interest to come to the aid of Jean. And I think we'll see this as we work through the choices. Sometimes
you're right.
He's doing things that just seem, morally incomprehensible, and other times he seems to be doing things that are
right.
Maybe showing he's not such a bad character.
Although there is also the point that he has 45 cents in his pocket or $2, $10, But yes, I didn't think of that. You're right. It's clear. It's obvious almost now. Yeah.
Hey, look, I'm happy for the gig, but who wrote this?
I did.
Okay.
So, okay.
Good.
Shout.
Please, Mr. Kennedy, take one, and we're rolling.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2.
1 second, please.
Please, Mr. Kennedy. I don't wanna go. Don't shoot me in the outer space. Please, Mr. Kennedy. I don't wanna go. Don't shoot me in the outer space. I sweat when they stuff me in the pressure suits. Rubble, helmet, dashboard, and boots. Nowhere up there in gravity zero. I need to breathe, don't need to be a space. And are you reading me loud and clear?
The next choice I wanted to discuss with you, FT, on the way to Chicago, to the Gate of Horn, Johnny 5 gets pulled over by a cop, gets hauled off by the cop, leaving Llewyn alone in the car with a sleeping or passed out,
drugged out,
Roland Turner.
Yes, and
the cat, and he faces a dilemma there. What to do? His decision is to just go hitchhike and abandon the cat.
Yep.
Which aforehand had been one of the only points where he really showed caring about something other than himself was the cat.
Yep.
And leaves Roland Turner, a man who, by the way, can't walk.
Yep.
In the car on a very cold winter night by the side of the road somewhere on the way to Chicago. Your thoughts on that choice, FT?
Terrible choice, but it's preceded by the interesting choice that I think preceded that was his choice to take the cat. Which
right.
I was scratching my head, going wait a minute. He was getting in his car, the AAA, ride-away car,
right.
Yeah. And I'm like, what the fuck is he taking the cat for?
Again, save the cat. Blake Snyder, I think, to a mass audience, Llewyn Davis is already not so much of a likable character or character to root for. So again, to make him likable, he keeps literally saving the cat.
Right. Yes.
Yeah. So should we move on to the next one?
Yes, of course. Yeah.
Okay. Next decision. Llewyn makes it finally to the Gate of Horn, where he gets to audition for Bud Grossman. That says he wants to hear something from inside Llewyn Davis.
Right. Sarcastically.
Yeah. And his choice of song.
Wow. Yeah.
There for his big audition, he chose to play. What's the song?
The Death of Queen Jane.
Death of Queen Jane.
Yeah.
FT, good choice or bad choice?
Great song and great version, but bad choice because you know what? I didn't see any money in it either. You know? Oh my God.
Yeah. So clearly not a good choice to score a deal with Bud Grossman. But you also said something like great song, great. So what makes it why were you saying it was great?
Well, I just like this performance of it because when I heard the other performances like Joan Baez, they're not very appealing. But Isaac Hayes, his performance on this was really nice. I was able to listen to it.
Isaac Hayes?
Isaac Hayes. That's what I said. Yes.
No, you mean Oscar Isaac.
Oscar Isaac. Hot Butter Jane.
I know, I was like, holy shit, how did I miss that one?
Yes.
Well, yeah, it's a bad decision, but again, I thought you were interesting in the film that it's so thematically perfect.
Oh yeah, with the death of a child.
It's a song about Jane Seymour begging King Henry. Is it King Henry or was that correct? I think King Henry to open her up to save her child, and again, thematically important because Llewyn's child is now weighing on his mind. He's just found out he's actually the father.
Yes, of a 2-year-old.
And about to abort another.
Well, abort one, actually.
Yeah.
Because that one wasn't. She chose to, continue.
Yeah. But there was a bigger mistake
yes.
also. What was it, FD?
The other choice that's made there.
What is it?
I hope it's the same one that you have in mind. That he doesn't opt to be part of a trio.
Yes, that's what I had. Yeah.
But poor Queen Jane, beloved, lay cold as a stone, lay cold as a stone.
I don't see a lot of money here.
Okay. So that's it.
You're okay. You're not green.
But I don't have what, say, Troy Nelson has.
You know Troy? A good kid. He connects with people. Look, I'm putting together a trio, 2 guys and a girl singer. You're no front guy, but if you can cut that down to a goatee, stay out of the sun, we might see how your voice works with the other 2. You comfortable with harmonies?
No. Yes, but no. No, I had a partner.
Well, that makes sense. My suggestion? Get back together.
That's good advice. Thank you, Mr. Grossman.
I was wondering, is this artistic integrity or is this his immobility, And then I started thinking, well, how many people really made it out if he does have an ambition? How many people made it out trios or duos? And the one person I can come up with is Paul Simon.
Yeah.
So there's a reason why he didn't want to be stuck in this, plus, don't go in the sun. The thing that Bud Grossman says to him,
Right.
Peter, Paul, or Mary.
So sorry, just for the audience, and the irony here is Bud Grossman is based on the real life Albert Grossman, and we'll talk about him in a minute, the manager of Dylan and famously the manager of Peter, Paul, and Mary.
Right.
So when Grossman says, I've got a trio I'm putting together, it is specifically in real life Peter, Paul, and Mary, which was a huge million selling group, which, by the way, was the group that first, Grossman used Peter, Paul, and Mary to popularize Dylan. Because the critic who was at the Gaslight, at Gertie's Folk City the night in question that we're supposed to be seeing, the review of Dylan was not entirely positive, talked about his voice being so terrible, but Bud Grossman had Peter, Paul, and Mary sing a song called Blowin' in the Wind that made Dylan a star. So yeah, bad choice not to be in Peter, Paul, and Mary. Again, an irony that I think works with my theme for the film. My thesis is that Peter, Paul, and Mary would have been perfect for Llewyn because, again, that was a group that just performed other people's works. They did not do originals.
Right. But I did think that it showed that Llewyn had some ambition of personal stardom, you know what I mean, which is interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in the Dylan documentary, it's talked about that whole line about stay out of the sun.
Yes.
That's what Al Grossman said to Mary. Stay out of the sun in Florida. Because, Yeah,
no, I think we can say that Llewyn has an ego.
He sure does.
Probably best demonstrated when Troy takes the stage at the Gaslight and
he thinks it's him.
I want to call somebody up on the stage, and Llewyn's like, I don't even have my guitar.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
The next choice and the final choice I'd like to discuss with you before we move on, coming back from the Gate of Horn. Fortunately, there's a driver who pulls over hitchhiking and says, man, I'm going to New Jersey. Can you drive? Because I got to sleep. And so Llewyn takes over the driving for this guy's car, drives through a brutal, incredibly well captured on film snowstorm, and sees the turnoff on the highway for Akron, and also this incredible shot of this town of Akron, this shining city on the hill, as they used to say, of that Peggy Noonan wrote about Ronald Reagan back in the day. And Llewyn does not take the turnoff. And what did you think about that decision?
Well, that was a very important, a moment there. And what struck me was, we've talked before in other podcasts about existential moments.
Yes.
That's where he chose against the domestic life. He doesn't take the leap to the domestic life.
Right.
That he remains on that edge of the precipice from which, who was his partner? Mike jumped to his death, that really struck me, and it's played so well and it's shot so well, and there's that odd shot where the car's going off on the ramp and you go, wait, is that the same car? Is he going? I mean, the Coen boys did a really, really fine job there, but there's the existential moment right there. And what's the song playing at that point? Old MacDonald Had a Farm. That's crazy, that sort of R&B version, Life of Domestic. What about you? What's your thoughts?
I'm going to both agree with you and push back, and I know that might be some cognitive dissonance there.
Yes.
Let's call a spade a spade in that as egotistical as Llewyn might be, he's got to be thinking he's not going to be warmly welcomed by the mother of his child, who decided not to abort, didn't even tell him that she decided not to abort, then never called him. I would have to think, again, with Llewyn's ego, is he really going to risk ringing that doorbell? I just don't know if he would be welcome into that household. And the other pushback I would give you is the Facebook problem. Back in '61, the Facebook problem was a new thing at that time. But the Facebook problem is you're on Facebook, right?
Yeah.
And you get this direct message, which I don't look at, from a high school friend, or even worse. So they're on your timeline. Hey man, remember?
Yeah.
And you don't want to respond. At least for me, I don't want to go back to that high school thing, and so I choose not to face it. So turning away from the past.
Yeah.
FT, can you think of any other instances where Llewyn makes choices where he wants to, block out or get rid of, disown his past?
Yeah, I can. It was early on with his sister. And when she says, here's your box of stuff, has a record in it and childhood stuff. And he's like, nah, just stick it out in the curb. I want nothing to do with that,
Right.
So how's the music going?
Pretty good.
Oh, good. So you don't need to borrow money. You still got your Siemens papers?
Yeah, why?
Well, if the music's not...
What, quit? Merchant Marine again? Just... exist?
Exist? Is that what we do outside of show business? It's not so bad, existing.
Like Dad?
Llewyn.
What?
Oh, you got a minute?
Well, they want me back for rehearsals Sullivan Show. I got autographs to sign. Champagne reception.
Don't go away. I cleaned it out, the house. There's some stuff. I'll put your stuff in a box. What I thought you might want.
I don't know, Joey. Stick it out at the curb.
Luna, are you kidding? Look at this. You know what this is? This is when you recorded shoals of herring for Mom and Dad. You're like 8 years old. It's so cute.
Well, see, Joy, in the entertainment business, you're not supposed to let your practice shit out. Ruins the mystique.
I'm sorry, I don't know a lot about the entertainment business.
And as it turns out, it's a bad choice because he forgot that his Siemens papers were there,
Right.
which looms large later on, for a whole rigmarole.
Another in a string of bad choices. But,
indeed.
Unless you want to throw something else in there, I think we better move on from Llewyn's choices to another topic. What do you think?
Yeah, I can see that. That's pretty much the major one. There was just the choice of going to see his father and that fiasco, that was, I don't know what he expected, but he found out something about his life, what the life would be outside of music, outside of his chosen thing,
Right.
Is this what he had to look forward to?
Right.
And by the way, Dave Van Ronk loved his time on the sea, which is where this comes from. He loved it, and Llewyn just is, dreading it, as a fallback,
Well, sorry, can I?
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
I mean, it's good you brought up that scene. I mean, again, like so many of these things, like I said, the cat's working on so many levels. That scene with his father, I think, works on a couple of levels of note. One, it's a mirror image of the audition for Bud Grossman. Bud Grossman's response. I don't see a lot of money here. His father's response is shitting his pants.
Himself. Yeah.
And it's really, again, the mirrors are when he's playing for Bud Grossman. There's a minute there where Llewyn thinks he's really connecting with Bud Grossman, and then he looks at Bud and then does the a cappella thing. There's a very sad moment where he thinks his father is responding. He turns away from the window and then and again the mirror. I think the responses mirror each other. He says to Bud Grossman something like, "Is that it?" And then he says to his father, "I think really." And again, the way the great script writing there, we don't know what Llewyn's responding to in his father until he goes out in the hallway and says to the orderly, "Hey, can somebody clean up my fire?" Just brutal and just biographical or real. We're going to get to this. Let's good transition. Are we ready to move on? Because that's a transition to the next section here. FT, the real life people who appear in one form or another in this film inside Llewyn Davis. So that visit to the father really is based on something else from folk music lore. Ringing any bells for you, FT?
Arlo Guthrie visiting his dad?
Well, Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan visiting Woody in some institution. I think is being echoed there with the father. But let's talk about some of the other real life people who make appearances in inside Llewyn Davis, but with the note that. The Coen Brothers, there's never a one, it's never like, oh, that's so, the Coen Brothers, as we said in the, they synthesize, they take real life things, throw them through the Coen-o-matic blender, and they come out in different ways. Llewyn Davis is no more Dave Van Ronk than Barton Fink is Clifford Odets in Barton Fink. But why don't we start with Dave Van Ronk, who clearly we know that was
inside.
Was the inspiration. They said, what if Dave Van Ronk got beat up in an alley behind Gertie's Folk City? Anything you want to say about Dave Van Ronk and how he fits into this movie, real life versus fiction?
Yes. Yeah, there's a number of plot points and, besides the songs, the first one that's straight out of Dave Van Ronk, the overcoat.
Really?
Yeah, it is, where he's offered a coat. The interesting thing is that, whoever, what's the name of Llewyn's agent there? I forgot. But
Mel
offers Llewyn $40, In real life, Dave Van Ronk got $50, and it was a regular thing. And it just happened that his agent was short at the time, and he says, "Take the overcoat. You can get something for it," and he turns it down. The whole Chicago business, going and with Bud Grossman or Al Grossman, in real life, and then a trip back. But there's the big difference there is that the trip 2 was fun as fuck. He was like speeding high with truck drivers and having a blast. And the actual audition with Bud Grossman, he got pissed off when Bud said, maybe you can join a trio. And he goes, well, no, Bud says something like, "Why should I consider you?" And he goes, what the hell? And Dave Van Ronk said he lost his temper with Bud, And the other thing is on the trip back, that's where Dave Van Ronk gets his papers stolen. He doesn't leave them in the box.
Sorry, his
seaman papers, his merchant marine papers.
Wow.
Yeah, by these frat boy party guys. They roll him over because he's hung over. He's all fucked up.
Wow.
Yeah, and he gets, and what else? That's about it. That's what Oh, one other little cool thing.
Okay.
Shackmanite.
Sorry, Shackmanite is said when he goes to the Merchant Marine Hall.
So, when he goes, "You're acting like I'm a communist," and the guy lights up and goes, "Shackmanite."
So, can I ship out?
No, you cannot.
Why?
You're not on the roster.
Okay, well, can you put me on the roster?
No, I cannot.
Why?
Why you think?
I don't know, because I'm a communist.
Shackmanite?
What?
No, ain't that. You ain't current.
I'm not current?
That's another way of putting it.
Is that a nautical term?
You ain't current on your dues. You pay your dues, arrears, $148. You go back on the roster, and I can ship you out.
Wow. I just make it. I'm leaving naked, man. Clean start. Okay. Can I pay you?
Mm-hmm. Now, I will write you a receipt. You got your master's mates and the pilot's license, right? Because you ain't shipping out without that.
Yeah, I got it.
And there you go, Llewyn Davis. Hey, you're not you Davis's kid, are you?
Why not?
Shackmanite.
Yeah, what is that, FT? I wonder.
It was a version of socialism that was in between. They were anti-Stalinist socialists. More like the IWW, they didn't believe in private property, but nor did they believe in central control of the economy, A version of that ended up starting the free speech movement, influential in that, in UC Berkeley in '64. But that's what the Shackmanites were. They deplored what was going on in the Soviet Union after the purges and after the Ribbentrop-Molotov Pact. Totally.
And sorry, you brought this up in context of Dave
Van Ronk was a Shackmanite.
Oh, okay, there we go. That's the connection I was missing.
It brings in the old, bring it back home there, buddy boy, as Bob would say.
One before we need to move on from Dave Van Ronk. It's interesting. You touched on it. Dave Van Ronk's album was called Inside Llewyn Davis.
No, Inside Dave Van Ronk.
Sorry. Thank you, FT.
That would have been real fortune telling.
Yes. So what is on the cover of Inside Dave Van Ronk? What is the cover photo?
I forget. It's the same picture, right?
No, Dave Van Ronk posing with a cat. The cat's once again.
How about that?
Yeah.
I forgot that. Yes. Good one.
More weird people. We already touched on Bud Grossman being a stand-in for Albert Grossman, who we didn't mention before, although maybe we could have dispensed with then. Actually, he started out as a manager of owner of nightclubs, and his nightclub was, in fact, the Gate of Horn in Chicago.
How about that? Yep.
Roland Turner, the jazz musician in the back seat of the car, was based on the real life Doc Pomus.
Yes.
Any thoughts about Doc?
No, I mean I did some research on him. He wrote some. He was a songwriter, right? He wrote some famous songs. Yeah, some
very famous songs.
Yeah.
Some very great songs. One of just a couple. He wrote. He was back in the early R&B days of Atlantic Records. Wrote a lot of songs for the Drifters, including the great "This Magic Moment."
Oh, right.
I think one of the great uses of a song in a soundtrack is in The Sopranos, the episode where Tony and his wife for his birthday, Carmela, go to his sister Janice and Bobby's house in the Adirondacks to celebrate Tony's birthday, and Tony and Bobby end up having a fight over a game of cards. Do you remember that, FT?
I do.
Yeah, and that song is beautifully used in that episode after they go back out on the water in a boat, as it turns out, to kill someone. But watch that if you really want to see a good use of this magic moment. But he's probably... Go ahead.
One other thing was that Doc Pomus had the effects of polio.
Oh yeah, no. So
that was the
thanks,
other
FT.
thing.
Yeah. No. So and that's why I said, because Doc Pomus was not a jazz musician, but clearly, again, this Coen Blendomatic machine. Doc Pomus was stricken with polio as a child and was either in a wheelchair or on
double crutches. Yeah. Johnny Five calls them sticks.
Yeah. But that leads to probably the greatest, most well-known Doc Pomus composition, which was also for the Drifters. Save the Last Dance. Save the Last Dance for Me. Are you familiar with the story of that song?
I am not.
So when Doc Pomus married his wife, he sat at his own wedding in his wheelchair and watched a succession of men take his wife out on the dance floor to dance. And he sat there in his wheelchair watching this and thought of the song Save the Last Dance for Me. With the famous line, "Don't forget who'll be taking you home and whose arms you're gonna be. So, darling, save the last dance for me." Beautiful
the last
song.
Dance in bed. Yes.
I didn't think my mind didn't go there. It is a great song.
Mine did.
The great Doc Pomus. Other real people: Troy Nelson, FT.
Tom Paxton.
Well, that was very good.
What's next?
What do you mean?
Do you plug yourself in somewhere?
No. Well, report for duty. Back to Fort Dix.
They making you a killing machine?
No, it's probably different from what you imagine. There's the discipline, which is what you're referring to. I thrive on that. And weaponry is part of the job. Armaments are not my thing. I don't even approve of war toys.
Is it a career?
No. I get out in a few months. Bud Grossman has expressed interest in representing me.
Bud Grossman? What's he like?
Mr. Grossman is a wonderful man. He's been very supportive. I played at his club in Chicago on my last furlough, right after I got back from Germany.
Did you meet Elvis?
No. Everyone asks that. No, I did not meet Private Presley.
Yeah, Tom Paxton, who really was a soldier stationed at Fort Dix and came into the city on weekends. And Troy even sings one of
his songs,
Paxton's most famous songs, "Last Thing on My Mind." Jim and Gene.
Real people.
Okay, who were they in real life?
Jim and Gene. Jim Gardner and Gene Ray.
Yeah, Jim Grover and Gene Ray, good one. It's interesting because Jim and Jay were the inspiration for another duo in another folk music film, FT, for $10. Can you name it?
A Man and a Woman. Ian and Sylvia.
No. It's in a film. So it was Mitch and Mickey in Christopher Guest's. What's that? So what's it called?
I don't know.
Called A Mighty Wind.
I never saw that one.
Yeah. So interesting. I had to go back and I said, which came first, A Mighty Wind or Llewyn Davis?
Mighty Wind.
Mighty Wind came out in 2003, and it's interesting when you watch them back to back, some of the similarities. So worth watching A Mighty Wind. Very, very funny movie.
You know, an interesting thing about Jim Gardner is that he's the one who introduced Phil Oakes into folk music. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah, they met at the Ohio State University. And in fact, Phil crashed at their place for a while. So there was that whole business, a little bit. The other interesting thing that this one I was really shocked at, Gene's mother was secretary to Art Linkletter. And one of the first compilations of folk music that came out was Jack Linkletter Presents a Folk Festival, which they were on it. So it was interesting. They had connections. You know, they had a connection in the business. You know, Art Linklater was a big deal radio personality.
Yeah.
You know.
Yes.
But it brings us up with the last movie. Remember when somebody called them Art?
Oh, right.
Yeah,
called director Richard Linklater, Art Linklater, right?
Yeah.
Good connection. Way to make connection between the last episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. One more thing about Gene. In the book Shaky.
Yes.
Neil Young's asked, like, who inspired all the dancing women in your songs?
Yes.
And one of the people he brings up is Jean. He said that she was a really good dancer, that she was, had this real soulful feel to her. And he said he had a crush on her.
Oh.
Yeah. So anyhow, there's that.
Yeah, so Jim and Jean.
Yep.
The last one is the producer of Please Mr. Kennedy seems to be based on the real-life John Hammond, who signed Bob Dylan to Columbia Records. Was not a success right away. Dylan was known as Hammond's Folly.
Right.
And then Hammond, much later in his life, signed another major act to Columbia. FT, can you name it?
No.
He was the one who signed the boss, Bruce Springsteen, to Columbia.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Pretty much the same thing, like pretty unknown first record, right? I was right out of Columbia.
Yeah.
Greetings from
Asbury Park, New Jersey.
Which I was there. I have some photographs of that place. Oof.
Yeah. They're longtime cinematographers, the great Roger Deakins, potentially the greatest living cinematographer. Deakins was not available to shoot inside Llewyn Davis because he was shooting a James Bond film, Skyfall. And they went to a French cinematographer, although he is in the American Society of Cinematographers, a man named Bruno Delbonnel. And I think it's hard to tell, but I think one of the reasons they went with Delbonnel is he was willing to work with Deakins' gaffer and Key Grip, who for some reason were not on Skyfall, or they worked it out with Deakins, and so that kind of gave the Coen Brothers some continuity. But coming back to this whole thing about how much they changed things on the spot, let me set it up by saying. They asked Delbonnel to operate the camera, which he was not in the custom of doing, because
looking through the viewfinder, right, and pressing the button.
Yeah,
so that
being
people,
on the camera instead of
yes.
Letting somebody else do it. And Delbonnel did not work that way, and they said, "Well, we want you to do it because that's the way Roger works." And he was
Deakins
like,
worked that way,
yeah. So they said, "Okay, I'll do it." And then they said, when they were ordering the camera package and the grip package, they wanted a remote head, a jib arm on a remote for the camera, and Delbonnel said, "Sorry, I'm not Roger. I don't work that way." And the Coen Brothers backed down on that one. And apparently, after a few days on the set, he said, "I need I want the remote jib arm."
Bring it on, yeah.
Because he said, they would lay down dolly tracks for tracking shots. There's the Coen Brothers fortunately use classic dolly shots over Steadicam when they can. So they would set up the shot would track, and then the Coen Brothers would say, "Oh, let's move the camera over a few inches," which of course would mean moving the tracks.
Yeah.
And so that leads me to think again, because they have the shots so pre-visualized in their minds when the cinematographer and they all set up the camera dolly on the tracks, and then the Coen Brothers see it and it's not quite what they had in their mind. They want it put exactly like they had in their pre-planning.
Right. And it would be hard to pull off that first shot in the Gore finds with a cat, going down the hallway. If you're tracking that thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So, FT, your thoughts on the cinematography of Inside Llewyn Davis? I mean, what did your reaction?
I liked it. It was really well done. It felt like New York, man. It really did.
Yeah.
The winter of one's season of one's soul. The whole thing was just I felt it was a little dark in spots, but that might have been just a version, what I was looking at, on the TV, the transfer, because, when I looked at the daylight stuff, it was great. I think it was really beautiful. I liked the palette and, a lot of it. What do you have to say?
Well,
you read the article. There's an article in American Cinematographer.
Yeah. Remind me to come back to answering Dark, because I want to speak to that. Excellent article on this film in American Cinematographer magazine, which, by the way, the American Society of Cinematographers is currently running a sale, which will hopefully still be running when you listen to this podcast. If not, they might let you in on it anyway. For only $15, you can get a 1-year subscription, digital subscription to American Cinematographer magazine, which gives you the access to every issue of American Cinematographer ever published. So if at all interested in the technical side of filmmaking and cinematography,
great magazine.
Yeah, that is a treasure trove for $15.
That's amazing. The paper copy was beautiful. Remember that?
Yeah.
How long does it go back? 30s?
I didn't go. Well, let's put it this way: 2000. I was back in 2013. Sorry, the society or the magazine?
The magazine.
I don't know.
Me neither. Yeah. There's a lot going on then. Yeah.
Yeah. And excellent article. But coming back to your comment about darkness, FT, I think the film is deliberately
muted.
And sorry, you talked about the transfer. So sorry, jumping around here. Del Bonnell works in collaboration with a colorist to do the digital intermediate. This was shot on film, 35 millimeter film. Del Bonnell's process is to work with a colorist from the beginning of the project, and they basically know the correction. They set corrections going in before Del Bonnell actually shoots and exposes for the telecine, the film to tape correction. He talks about it much like if you know about the bleach bypass process, where you'll expose differently, knowing it's going to be when you process the film. He's basically thinking the same way. But the darkness was deliberate. But especially in the inside scenes, Del Bonnell talks about, he deliberately lit so the scenes would fall off into darkness. So typically cinematographers don't work. They want to make sure everything in the frame has some light on it. Where he deliberately wanted the inside shots to fade to black as you went back in space, and maybe that's what you were reacting to.
No, but I do think it was a shitty transfer. But I hear what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, again, things like this, transfers, and also how people have their monitors set. I didn't perceive that. It definitely is deliberately set to be a darker film, and especially in the sequence. The trip to the Gate of Horn and the trip back is made to be seen. Intended to be visually different from the rest of the film, and made to feel like a descent into the underworld.
I did like the way that's broken up, though, at the restaurant. Where that big diner or that big cafeteria looked like.
Oh, I was gonna ask you about that.
Yeah, that was beautiful, man.
So do you know about those?
No, I don't.
Yeah, so as you could see, the sign, and it was a recreation. It was a set. At least I believe it was. It was. There may be a couple existing. Fred Harvey. Were you familiar with Fred Harvey?
No.
So they were it was a chain of restaurants in the Midwest Chicagoland areas for highway commuters, and their thing was they were built on service stations spanning over the highway.
Oh, wow!
You see that in this film, and again, I don't know if they've had still a Fred Harvey restaurant or they recreated it. You look out the window, the cars are passing under them.
How about that?
When Johnny Five is reading his Orlovsky.
The Orlovsky thing, yeah.
Yeah.
More, crack a bit. Talk to me more. Obed that taketh the weight of the world. All the lost dreams laid on you. Obed that grows no hair. That cannot be fucked. Or can be fucked. Obed crumbs of all ages spilled on you. Obed.
Well,
Easy.
But I'll just read it was interesting, the inspiration for the look, and you nailed and again, it's not all that often that an artist's conception is realized in the audience. You described perfectly what the Coens and Del Bonnell was after. The inspiration, they both had the same inspiration, the same reference for what they wanted the film to look like. FT, can you name it?
No. Specific, you mean?
It was
a photographer.
Yeah, they had one piece of photography. They said this, and they both came in with the same photograph.
Oh, the same exact photograph?
Yeah, and they said this is the reference for the film.
Black and white photograph or color one? Black and white.
Obviously color.
All right.
Yeah.
Color back then in the 60s. What do you think? What is it?
It was the album cover for the Freewheelin' Bob Dylan, where Dylan and his girlfriend, Susie Rotolo, are standing in this melting snow. As you said, it really feels cold. And again, it carried over to the wardrobe for this film because what do we know about Llewyn throughout the film?
Yeah, no overcoat. He's freezing.
He no coat. He's wearing a sport jacket, a sport coat, which is both Dylan in that photo and, interestingly, the same way Van Ronk is dressed with the cat on the cover.
Right.
Inside Dave Van Ronk, the sport coat. The sport coat kind of fallen out of fashion these days.
It sure has. I think the look of the film is better than that cover photograph, by the way.
I would agree. I love the way this film looks, and it's interesting. You can find people out there on the interwebs who say they hate the way they'll say things like, "I love the film, I hate the way it looks," which I just don't get.
What do they want?
I think it's a brilliant looking film.
It is. It works.
I'll just read you one quote from the article from Del Bonnell. He says, quote, "This film couldn't be beautiful or golden. It had to be uncomfortable. The question was how to come up with a very sad, very dirty image without falling into the extreme of a completely blue winter, which bores me. Yellow equals warm, blue equals cold.
Yep.
We went toward dirty magentas and cyan, two colors that oppose each other."
Right. Neither clearly Kodachrome or Ektachrome, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although the Freewheelin' Bob Dylan does have kind of an Ektachrome
it does.
look to it. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's lighter. Actually, it's just, I never liked that shot. I mean, it's a cool shot, but, anyhow, yes. Iconographic, as they say.
Yeah.
All right.
Why don't we, since it feels like the end of our podcast is near, how do you say that in old-timey language?
Near.
I feel like we should, yeah. Let's break down the ending because I feel like it's either an ending in 3 parts, which I kind of like, or an ending in 2 parts, which I don't like as much. The ending in 2 parts, I think, is Llewyn getting the shit kicked out of him twice. The first time he doesn't even know it, which would be the first time he doesn't know he's getting the shit kicked out of him is Bob Dylan coming on stage. And then the second time is the giant in the alley kicking him, beating him up. I like the ending in 3 parts theory better. If you might allow me to hold forth, FT.
Yeah, totally. Because I don't know what you're talking about.
So think about the ending in 3 phases, 3 acts. Llewyn sings a farewell song. And what's interesting there is, again, as we talked about, it's him singing this inherited, basically just redoing another song without changing it.
Yep.
So that's farewell number 1. Next up, Mr. Bob Dylan singing a song, and I won't ask you because you didn't seem to like me asking you before, FT.
Well, that one's easy.
Okay, go ahead. What is it?
Farewell.
There you go. Okay, sorry.
Yay!
Okay. Yeah, so Llewyn...
What's the last line of the film, right? Yeah.
Well, sorry.
Don't jump ahead. Yes.
Yes. Okay. But you can see where I'm going.
Yes.
So we go from Llewyn singing a song about farewell. He sings it in the old-timey "Fare Thee Well." Right. Now we've got Dylan taking a song which is his own song that he gets a copyright for, again based on an old-timey song called "Farewell," but now transformed into an original song pointing forward. And then Act 3 of the ending, Llewyn gets beat up in the alleyway, but drags himself out of the alleyway to deliver the final words of the film, which again, for the Coen Brothers, no words are happenstance. In any film, really, the final words are always very deliberate. FT, what are the final words delivered by Llewyn Davis?
Hasta la vista, baby. No, au revoir. Au revoir.
Yeah, what does that mean?
To see you again, right? Doesn't it?
Until we see each other again. It's interesting because we've got farewell, which is final. We got fare thee well, or farewell, which is final. We've got Dylan, farewell. And now we've got Llewyn at the end of the film, not bringing us the closure, which we were kind of expecting. He's until we meet again, which is interesting because the whole film is a loop. It starts at the beginning in that alley and loops through, and then we're back in the alley.
Yes.
So it's interesting that the last line is au revoir, not. So there is a word in French for farewell, for a final goodbye. What is it, FT?
Adieu.
Thank you. Adieu.
Adieu.
He could have said adieu, which would have been in consonance with the first two. Llewyn could have sang fare thee well. Dylan could have said farewell. And then Llewyn could have said adieu. And critics would have said, wow, 3 ways to say farewell. But instead, the choice of the Coen Brothers is au revoir, which is till we meet again, which is interesting because I think maybe it points to a hopefulness for Llewyn, because I think there is a reading of the film where Llewyn is going to follow Mike, as Bud Grossman says, reunite with your partner. The film is not really hopeful. He doesn't get a deal with Bud Grossman. He doesn't go back to find his son or daughter. So what's left for him, and he's certainly a depressive type. I think perhaps au revoir is the Coen Brothers version of a happy ending.
I'll see you again.
Yeah, pointing to hope that he's not giving up.
That he that he will heckle somebody else and get the shit kicked out of him again.
I
mean, or is he saying it to us? Sort of like it's almost breaking the fourth wall. I don't know. It's obviously open to interpretation, but maybe let's put it this way. I think if the film did end with him saying farewell, goodbye, I think there could be a reading like, yeah, that's it for Llewyn Davis. He's going to go join his partner Mike and throw himself off the George Washington Bridge, or perhaps take Roland Turner's advice and jump off the Brooklyn Bridge, because who jumps off the George Washington Bridge? Maybe.
So I detect maybe a note of hopefulness. But my question for you, FT, is why the choice for the Coen Brothers to end the film with the words au revoir?
Au revoir. See you again.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, you already mentioned about the circularity of it. So in a sense, the beginning, the end is the beginning of the end,
Right.
So is that what you have in mind?
Well, I think both, again, multiple interpretations. I do think that, the Coen Brothers signaling that, Llewyn's not going to give up. He's going to keep at it.
Yeah.
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 That he's literally beaten down, but he's not out, as you might say.
Right. And when he says, I'll see you again, I'll see another person that might possibly kick the shit out of me because I will heckle somebody, in the future, because, that's the way also I took it, this will happen again. And I embrace it, That's the way I took it.
Yeah. There's that.
Yep.
What did you think? And sorry, I know we said we'd wrap it up, but I've been itching to ask you this question.
Yeah.
What did you make of the scene where Llewyn heckled the auto harp playing folk singer?
What did I make of it?
Yeah.
He was pissed off that Poppy said that he fucked Jane.
Yeah,
because that's what he says. He goes like, "Why'd you let me see your panty?"
Right.
He's like really rude to her.
Yes.
It's terrible. It's really one of the it's horrifying. Yeah.
Remember
as Poppy says, hey, if you want to play the Gaslight.
Right.
That was the line that triggered it, by the way.
Big welcome to Elizabeth Hobby from Eleanor in Arkansas.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. You're so nice. This is my first show in New York.
How'd you get the gig, Betty?
Come on, Llewyn. Give me a little credit.
I'm going away to leave you, love. I'm going far over the sea. The storms are
Where's your corn cob pies?
the ocean.
Are you wearing gingham panties? Huh?
Fuck
you. Come on, show us your panties. Show us your panties, Betty. Fine. Oh, God, I hate fucking folk music. Okay, Eddie. I fucking hate folk music. Florio. Fuck Florio. Fuck you, Poppy. Oh.
Yes. So I'm agreeing with you, but once again, I'm saying there's multiple layers there. I won't ask you because you seem to be tiring of my dialectical question.
Yeah, I mean, so just say it. What's the other layer?
You want me to say it?
No.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I think it's the other level that it's pulling there is illuminating again Llewyn's total lack of self-reflection in that woman on the stage playing auto harp. Rewind the tape. Remember, my original theme here is that Llewyn is all about he only wants to play authentic folk music. He doesn't want to change it. He doesn't want to do Please Mr. Kennedy. He wants to stick to the originals. He doesn't want to change the words. Now here is the auto harp player on stage is actually played by the real life folk musician Nancy Blake. And in the film, she's been set up as the real thing. She comes from, where does she come from in the film?
Arkansas.
Yeah, from Arkansas. She's fresh from the farm. She's playing an auto harp. She is way more authentic than anybody we've seen yet on the stage at the Gaslight. And even though it seems to be what Llewyn is all about and wants to think he's all about.
Right, it's the real deal. Yeah,
yeah, he heckles her, as you said, spurred by this anger over Poppy sleeping with Gene.
Right.
Why did Gene sleep with Poppy, FT?
I don't know. Why?
Well,
oh, well, wait. Maybe, and that's a little bit unclear, so that Llewyn be able to get another gig, right? Mm-hmm. Because Llewyn says, I can't, I can't.
The gig. Gene
oh, the Times is going to be there, right?
The Times is going to be there. It's the big gig. So Gene sleeps with Poppy to get Llewyn the gig.
That's implied, yes.
It's implied.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. But you figure that Jean, sleeps around. She slept with Llewyn,
Right.
Double condoms.
Yeah. We better wrap this up, FT.
Yeah, man.
This has been an interesting one. I think this is a great film.
I will go out and say this. I'm going to go out on a limb. I think it's their best film. Watching a bunch of them again, I really do. This one is really something.
I would agree. I would tend to agree with you, but interesting on first watch. It's not one where you say, like I said, it really rewards repeated viewings. But after repeated viewings,
for you,
I would say it is. I would say it is probably their best, and I'm glad. But it's been great to do this podcast because, man, trying to think about it for this podcast, it's just like it's like a Russian nesting doll, or peeling an onion, or coughing up a hairball or something.
Well, yeah, exactly. As Roland Turner says, what do you do with a cat on stage?
Yeah.
Yep.
Anything more you want to touch on, FT? We should wrap up part 2 of this special two-part edition of Inside Llewyn Davis by the Coen Brothers.
In the Gaslight, they were forced to put the sprinkler system in, and one night it went off in the middle of a performance. And it was like about 6 inches of water. Yeah, yes. And the thing about how bad the coffee was, Anyhow, yeah, man.
All right, we better wrap this one up. This has been a fun one.
Yep.
Thank you, everybody, for listening to this special 2-part edition of Inside Llewyn Davis. We'll see you next month with a new episode. New episodes the first Tuesday of every month. If you don't want to miss them, please make sure you're subscribed in your podcast player of choice. Check us out on theyshootfilms.com. And on that note, I will say, fare thee well, FT.
I thought you were going to go au revoir, man. Adieu.
Dude, that means that's the final one. So, sorry, you're saying you're not going to talk to me again?
No, I said farewell. You got confused.
Susan,
You said fare thee well, and I said farewell. I went, au revoir.
Yeah, that's better.
I'll see you again.
That's better.
Okay. From inside.
Yes.
I'm shy now. Au revoir.
Nice, yes. That implies we will see each other again, which we will 1 month from today. CFT.
Au revoir. Jesus Christ. You're the one that says fare thee well. And like you're not gonna see me again. And then you get me.
I didn't think about it until you and it hurt my feelings.
Jesus Christ. It made me upset. All right, I'm done. We done?
They Shoot Films is a production of Film Symposium West. Produced by Anne-Marie De Palma. Studio announcer Roy Blumenfeld.